And welcome to this week's podcast and videocast here on GoEags.com, brought to you by Cheney Federal Credit Union, serving their members' financial needs since 1951. Athletic Director Bill Chaves is here, coming off a absolutely fantastic ball game in Bozeman on Saturday. Win or lose, it was just a great college football game.
It was kind of how you draw it up, Larry, I think. I mean, obviously, I was saying before the game, just the weather and the conditions and everything, there might be as nice setting in college football on Saturday, but probably not nicer. And then add in just a thrilling game. The best way we can describe it, I think, is the fact that I think the big winner is FCS. That's the big winner. I mean, one of these teams unfortunately had to lose, and obviously one was going to win. And I guess fortunately, obviously, it was us that came out on top. But Montana State played great. It was great atmosphere and just a great game to be a part of.
It really came off well on the TV. I don't know if you've had a chance to see the replay. Sunday night, Root Sports Northwest had the replay, and it really came out great on TV. When you mentioned the fans and everything, their people did a great job there.
Yeah, Tom and Jason do a great job as well. And I did watch a little bit. I DVR'd it and kind of, flew through it and got to the sort of the fourth quarter just to see how things, looked and kind of see it from a television standpoint. It's always a little bit different when you're kind of watching the game live, it feels like, and you just kind of want to revisit it. And, I thought, again, it came off great. I think it was a big win for Root, big win for FCS, big win for Big Sky. It just was just a great game. And, again, someone had to come out on top, and we just were able to make one more play. And, it had a playoff feel to it, didn't it? I mean, it was kind of like, that's what ends up happening in the playoffs. I mean, you either make the play or, unfortunately, someone else makes the play. And Saturday, we were fortunate enough to make enough plays.
One of the things you had a chance to do, Bill, on the way over there to Bozeman on Saturday was watch the soccer match on Friday. Mm-hmm. They lost that one, and they won on Sunday, so I don't know. Maybe you're the jinx. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 0-2 on the road. I mean, so let's just figure that one out at this stage of the game, hey, I'll wear it. I mean, if I have to stay away for them to win, I'm good with that. I'm good, but now we played Hawaii on, actually it was really kind of a great idea by both Montana and us to kind of bring two schools in and kind of play a classic format, if you will. And so, we're not playing Montana, we'll play them later on in the year, but to play Hawaii and Colorado State for us on a neutral field was great. And a field that we're somewhat familiar with, obviously, because we play there every other year. We played Hawaii on Friday. They were just quicker. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. They were just quicker to the ball. They were just, and we hung in for a good while. It was 1-1 for a while, and then they got the second goal, and that was kind of a backbreaker. We had, the two matches that I've seen thus far at Seattle U and at Hawaii, two pretty good programs, good teams. We've just had a couple, a 5-minute spell that's kind of done us in a 90-minute match, and that's what happens when you play real good competition. And then to come back on Sunday and beat a Colorado State team, our third shutout of the year, that's exciting. Kind of heading into Big Sky play.
So soccer 3-3 on the season, 3-1 without Bill in the stands, and you will not be in the stands at least on Friday. They have their home opener this week. They have first two matches at home in Big Sky Conference play.
Well, it's awesome that we've detected that in this video podcast. So now that's the case, Coach Bodnar will be, excited to know that that's the case. And I'm happy to be afar, but I was actually looking at the schedule. It doesn't set up well for me to see many of their matches. Being with the football team on the road, we've got obviously a few trips coming up that entail a couple different nights stay as opposed to the down and backs that you can kind of do when you're either chartering or on a bus trip. So unfortunately, I am going to miss some of their matches, but they'll be in the capable hands of Don Ross and Pam Parks, and they can take care of those matches at home.
Volleyball was on the road last week. Very tough tournament for them at the University of San Diego. Cal State Northridge, which is one of the top 35 or 40 teams in the nation, and then 19th ranked San Diego, number 1 Stanford. The Eagles lost all 3 matches, but I'm sure they had some things there that they can build on, and they had some successes against each of those squads.
Yeah, talked to Coach King this morning, and Northridge actually beat San Diego, and so Northridge will probably be in the top 25 as well. So he thought he was very impressed with Northridge, and impressed with all of them, really. I mean, and again, Stanford. But I think hopefully, the non-conference schedule that we played hopefully sets us up for a Big Sky, kind of a grueling travel that you've got to do over 3 time zones, right? And so upcoming, we've got probably the worst trip of the year, really, as far as travel is concerned. And obviously, we're going to play 2 very good teams too in North Dakota and Northern Colorado. So hopefully, all of the travel that we've done thus far will maybe set us up for some success on the road. Obviously, the hope is you try to maybe get some splits on the road, and then maybe you take care of business at home here. But it all starts this week.
Cross country in action last week, running for the first time in September at Portland State. Women didn't take a full squad down there, at least not their best squad. They took a full squad, but they left a couple of their good runners at home. They went 1-2, but the men took their full squad, and they went 2-0.
Yeah, no, it was great, and we got some great performances too. On the ladies' side, Sarah ends up winning it, and then Vince, I think, finishes second on the men's side. So we had some great performances, and like I said, we've talked in other video podcasts as well. It's all leading up to the championship, the Big Sky Championship. So each individual probably is potentially putting in different amounts of work at some stage of the game. So to go race in a race, it probably just doesn't make sense at that point in time, because it's not like basketball, I guess is the best way of putting it, where you wouldn't miss a game. But I mean, you're trying to peak to that absolute. You want all your runners getting to that point where they're peaking when the Big Sky Championship hits.
Yeah, November 1st, I believe it is, Grand Forks, North Dakota for the cross country. Sarah Ryder was the winner on the women's side. Vince Hamilton, number 2 there on the men's side. So we get back around to football here. UC Davis this weekend for Eastern. No TV on that game, 6:05 for the radio start, 4:30 actually for the Washington Trust tailgate show start. But then we get back home on October 4th. And this is important for 2 things. Number 1, if you don't have your tickets for this Idaho State game, you better get them now as soon as you log on to the internet, as soon as you're hearing this or seeing this, because there is extremely limited availability, and in fact, they may even be gone by the time you see this.
That's correct, and I'll find out more here as we get into some meetings. Usually it's meeting Monday for us, and so have yet to get into that yet, but I know that we were darn close by the end of last week. The one thing you did mention, though, that you kind of jogged my thoughts on this: no television, but there will be a webcast. So certainly, if you don't have the Watch Big Sky app, you want to get the Watch Big Sky app. That is something that John Casper and Tanner Gooch worked really hard on at the Big Sky Conference, and it is slick. It is neat. It's easy, and so I want to make sure that people do think about that. Not that we don't want them to listen to you or Paul, but at the end of the day, you might want to just at least have it on the video as they're listening to you as well.
And that's good for your tablet, good for your phone, whatever you want, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's just a neat deal. It really is. It got a little interesting when we first rolled this out. The first iteration was just harder to get into, if that makes sense. It was like you had to buy, and really you weren't buying it because it was $0, but there was just a lot of issues. But this, you just tap into it, you see the game that you want, and you just tap it.
All right, so that's one thing you can do. And getting back to the ticket equation, so if they are sold out for Idaho State, that's just impetus for you now to get your Northern Colorado tickets, get your North Dakota tickets, and another one that's very limited availability already, and we knew it would be that way, is Montana.
Yeah, and absolutely. I mean, obviously, all the games should be exciting here, but I know everyone likes the history and the rivalry with the Grizz, and they had a great game up in the Fargo Dome on Saturday as well. They kept it tight, and they had North Dakota State kicking field goals, which is really a recipe to win a game, obviously. But for them to go on the road, and it was tight at half, and then only losing by 12, really, when it was all said and done. That was impressive.
GoEags.com/tickets to get tickets for any of the remaining 4 home games. And also on the 4th of October, Bill, 9 o'clock in the morning for breakfast, 9:30 for the induction. The latest class in Eastern's Athletics Hall of Fame will be enshrined.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Dave Cook does a great job. You do a great job emceeing it, and it's just it's one of those moments in life that becomes special because obviously for someone it could be a culmination of a lot of different things, and it's always an exciting day. I love that day. I love that morning. I just it's a neat thing, and if you're interested, please, we would love to have you.
And probably the only time in history that if you want to buy tickets for this, you call the person, one of the people that's actually going into the Hall of Fame. Judy Crabb will be going in, and she's the person to call for tickets. So,
well, what's awesome about that is we're going to have her work it too, because why wouldn't you? That's what a Hall of Famer does. That's the reason why she's going in, because she's not afraid to roll her sleeves up and get it done. But no, we're excited about that. For many folks, Judy is really the front porch to the athletic department, and and she's a connector for us from way years gone by, as far as what's gone on. And there's many a time where I'll walk into Judy's office and ask her, okay, Judy, what just want to make sure I've got this right. I mean, and she'll kind of set me straight, and so we're excited about that.
All right, so that's happening on October 4th. You can call. What's the phone number?
359-2463.
Very good. Call that number for tickets. You can congratulate Judy while you're on there. $15 for breakfast and to watch the induction, and it's always a lot of fun. Anything else, Bill?
No, obviously it was a fun weekend. We look forward to this week. Another tough game on the road. Davis is, they're going to be a tough test. They'll play a little bit. They'll play stout defense, and they're going to probably try to pound it a little bit. I know their head coach comes from the Stanford mold, and so I think that's what he's liking his team to play like. So we're going to have our hands full.
That's this week's podcast with Athletic Director Bill Chaves, and it's here on GoEags.com, brought to you by Cheney Federal Credit Union.